Hey guys, welcome. Today is Friday, November 28th, 2025. Star Citizen IAE 2955 hasn't finished yet, and we are already entering the next patch cycle, which is 4.5. The first EPTU 4.5 has just been released, and it is currently under NDA. I do not have access to it, but we can take a look at the patch note. The audience for this patch is EPTU only. It's under standard ETF NDA. However, CIG did say possibly Wave 1 Saturday or Sunday if build passes validation, which is either tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Wow, that's very surprising. They are really pushing 4.5. I thought we're gonna get 4.4.1 or 2, but no, we are going straight to 4.5. And 4.5 is going to be a game-changing patch because engineering and ship armor will be in this patch. Also, Vulkan rendering and graphic setting updates, as well as physicalized helmets, which are the testing and feedback focuses. Now, what's not ready for testing and feedback? Updates located here are in partial working state and may be subject to removal from this release. At this time, we aren't requesting feedback for these until the feature is closer to ready. First one is Snuff Fighters and Interceptor Balance Pass. So they are retuning the Snuff Fighters and Interceptors such as M50 Interceptor, the Furies, the Merlins, Archimedes, and the Interceptors also includes 325A as well as the Avenger Stalker. Second one is the FPS AI improvement. The AI in this 4.4 patch is quite deadly, especially in the QV stations. So I wonder how they're going to improve those AIs. Next one is ship light amplification detection. Next one is PU loot refresh and collector rebalance and additional hairstyles. Current issues are these. Currently, fire is not functioning in many ships. VFX can be seen on the C1 Spirit, Perseus, and the Starlancer Tech, but not in ships such as the Gladius Colors Black or Corsair. That's exactly what we have tested during the tech preview. Most of the ships, the fire is not functioning. Sometimes you do not see the fire, but they do exist. Sometimes you can see the fire, but you cannot extinguish them. So I have some issues with the fire right now. Another important issue listed here is ships are instantly repaired to 75% hull with repair tool and can be repaired from the inside. Looks like that shouldn't be this way. And yes, indeed, even in the current 4.4, we can instantly repair the ship hull to 75%, even from the inside of the ship. So basically, someone can keep shooting at enemy ships and someone just keep using the repair tool, instantly repair the hull to 75%. And that will make the ship invulnerable, right? So that shouldn't be this way. Another issue is fire VFX is not visible. Yep. And another problem is fire are not extinguished in 0 atmosphere. Yes, indeed. Another problem we also experienced during the tech preview testing is breached doors and ramps do not reset after the vehicle has been repaired and the player is unable to close them. So that's still an issue. So that's a few listed issues regarding the engineering. Now let's take a look at the features and gameplay. The important stuffs are here. First one is engineering gameplay, introducing dedicated engineering roles aboard ships, allowing players to actively manage power distribution, repairs, and system efficiently in real time. The overall goal and experience with this engineering update should see ships behaving approximately as well as 4.4 in combat and survivability, with the added bonus of engineering and multi-crew to extend this beyond the capability of 4.4. Beyond this, players may need to check on their ship between battles to make necessary repairs so that they are fully prepared for their next encounter. During the tech preview channel, I have made multiple videos for it. The components are very easy to get destroyed. That is because we do not have the ship armor implemented. And looks like we are going to get the ship armor implemented in this patch. That's why it's saying that we should see ships behaving approximately as well as 4.4 in combat and survivability, but with the added bonus of engineering gameplay. So with that words, I believe when engineering gameplay comes in, Our ships are not nerfed, but the capability has been expanded. Our ships can do combat and survive as good as our current ships that are in 4.4, but with the extended capabilities of repairing individual components, thrusters, weapons, PDCs, hulls, missiles and missile racks, which I have tested in detail in some of my tech preview videos. Continue on, this introduces numerous updates to all ships and vehicles with the initial implementation of ship armor, loads of updates to heat, power, and life support management, diagnostic and engineering screens, large sweeping changes to ship component health, damage resistance, and heat generation, hull health and weapon balancing, as well as updating the repair tools needed for the job. Wow, this sentence includes so much information. The initial implementation of ship armor will be in. We'll also get a hull health and weapon balancing. So the hull health, maybe for different ships, is going to be changed. And there will be a significant difference between military ships and civilian ships, between military components and non-military components. And also the weapon balancing, I believe one of the major things will be the weapon penetration. Size 4 and size 5 weapons, as CIG has mentioned before, will have much more penetration power go through the armor of the ship. And the smaller the size of the weapons, the less of the penetration. And the ballistics, of course, will have better penetration power. And the lasers will not have any penetration against shield, but ballistics will penetrate through shield. So this is going to get very interesting now. Since the previous tech preview, we have made dozens of fixes as well as updates for balancing the UI and further updates for more vehicles. Ooh, nice! Deactivated fire for bullet hits as well as overheating of power plants. Increased coolant provided by the coolers. Reduced critical power plant failure point. Updated armor to have health again. Fixed to ballistic cooldowns. Reducing radar heat. And the ship health now tied to critical health, as this new update affects every ship and vehicle in the game. Many further updates and balancing will be done during the course of the EPTU phases for 4.5 and beyond. Wow, this also includes so much information. So they deactivated fire for bullet hits as well as overheating of power plants. So does that mean that the power plants will not overheating? And that's a nice balance if that is so. And increase the coolant provided by the coolers. So if your ship has military coolers or multiple coolers with increased coolant, you might be able to lower your cooler pips, especially for stealth ships, while still provide enough coolant for the entire ship. Reduced critical power plant failure points. This we have tested in the EPTU, that the power plant can get destroyed so easily. So with this balance, the power plant can be damaged, but it won't be destroyed that easily. And that will also improve the survivability of the combat ships. And updated armor to have health again. So the armor also has health. If you want to break the armor to do damage to the hull, you have to damage armor first to bring its health to 0, probably. It also depends on the penetration of the weapons. So the cooldown for the ballistic weapon is a way to balance the ballistic weapons. So let's see how the cooldown will be. And reducing radar heat, this will reduce the IR of the ship. And ship health now tied to critical health. So I'm not exactly sure what the critical health means exactly. But currently we have the vital part hull health for different ships. But once armor is in, what does critical health mean? We'll have to find out later. Next one, ship fire hazards. Bringing fire hazards to ship's environment along with fire extinguisher mechanics, requiring players to manage and extinguish blazes before they spread. This includes retrievable fire extinguishers aboard ships that have a limited use before needing to be recharged. Next one, weapons and items. Physical helmets. Implementing physical helmets in the Persistent universe. Pick one up, rotate it, inspect every detail, carry it around, attach to your hip, or toss it across a room if you want. When you equip the helmet, you put on or remove the same one you held in your hand. Complete with a fully realized interior. This is cool, and we have already tested this in the tech preview. Maybe this is the beginning of the armor lockers. Really hope the armor locker can come into play. And when you get into your pilot seat, you really cannot wear your armors. You can only wear a flight suit. And then use the armor locker to put on armors and grab guns. And then get out of the ship to do FPS combat. Maybe this is the beginning of that. Now, core tech, Vulkan render improvements and GPU setting updates, increasing both the stability and spread of Vulkan renderer. With many crash fixes, diagnostic improvements, and multi-threaded render submission, while adding support for HDR and NVIDIA DLSS transformer model. Also included is an overhaul to the graphic options with many new settings and a VRAM bar to help players configure the graphic for their GPU. Yes, indeed. In the tech preview, we've seen this. We've used the Vulkan. It's pretty stable, even though it is still some problems. But it's still pretty stable. And you do have more options for the graphic settings, especially the global illumination under Vulkan. So we shall see if they did further improvements after the tech preview or not. Now, bug fixes. Star Citizen Alpha 4.5 currently contains about 64 bug fixes for issues occurring in the 4.4, 26 of them which originated from the issue console. So about a third of them from the issue console. Well, good job, issue console. Now, let's check a few of the important bug fixes. And by the way, these are all potential fixes. Unless we test it for certain, we cannot be sure that they are fixed. The client performance around Lavsky is in a bad state with very low frame rate, below 15 FPS when traversing through Lavsky. It's getting a little better, but when we have a lot of players, this is still a pretty bad issue. Another one is NPC AI too accurate and ignores covers. Yeah, those are a whole bunch of damn aimbots, especially in the QV stations. When you are already hiding in cover, you're still getting shot by the NPCs. I hope they really fix that. Next one is FAC invulnerable areas. Not only the FAC, the Wolf 22 also has some invulnerable areas as well. Another one is repairing vehicles via landing services causes the ship to catch on fire. This we have experienced multiple times during the tech preview. It's really funny. Once you do a repair in the landing service, your entire ship will catch on fire. Next one is lootable Vandu corpses can be stored in personal inventory. No, this shouldn't be a bug. This is a feature. We can decorate our own ships with full of Vandu corpses. Please don't take that away. And that's about it. The first preview of Alpha 4.5 engineering patch. Hopefully we can get Wave 1 tomorrow, which is Saturday, but I really hope that we do not. We want a little bit of rest from the IAE, from all the new ships and testings and videos this weekend. That was the plan, but if they release it to Wave 1, then we're gonna have to do what we're gonna have to do. So see you guys in the next one.